I got my 13th Etsy order. It is Monday, May 26th at 5:31 p.m. and the order came in this morning. It came in at about 9:30, but as you can probably tell, I'm on a beach in Jamaica. So I will not be making the order now because I'm on a little family vacation. So I will make it once I get back home to Toronto. Right now I'm just enjoying the sun, enjoying the beach. No work for me. This is actually my first custom order, which if you watch my last video, you'll know all about that. My customer ordered a daisy pillow with a matching keychain. And so this will be a little freehand type project because I've never made a daisy pillow before, but I have an idea in my mind of how I want to do it. But for the time being, I'm just going to enjoy the sun, and I'll see you when I get back to Toronto. And I am back in Toronto. So it is several days later. It is Thursday, June 5th, and I am finally getting around to making this order. While I was discussing with Dawn about potentially making a custom order for her, I had told her that it would be about 2 weeks before I would be able to send it out because I knew that I was going to Jamaica. So the day that I have to ship this by is June 16th. So I still have 11 more days. I'm not gonna wait 11 days. But the point is, I gave myself time because I knew that when I came back from my trip, I was gonna be tired. And I also knew that I was going to be working for several days when I came back. So I gave myself a little bit of extra time because I knew I was gonna be away. Plus, as I said at the beginning of this video, this is gonna be somewhat of a freehand project. So when it comes to the daisy keychain, this is my daisy keychain design. So I'm just going to make one of these. But when it comes to a daisy pillow, I've never made a daisy pillow before, so I need to give myself a little bit of extra time to make that because there's going to be a little bit of trial and error, potentially some frogging. I don't know. But the point is, I knew I had to give myself extra time, so Dawn is aware of this. So now, for the keychain and the pillow. Dawn said that she wanted a daisy where the middle is yellow and the petals are green. So it will look like this, except the petals will be green. So these are the two colors that we decided on. So this is for the keychain. This is lemon and this is guacamole. Those are the colors, and this is loops and threads acrylic yarn. And then for the pillow, I have yellow. It's just called yellow. And vineyard green, and both of these are loops and threads. This is chenille home, this is sweet snuggles. They're both the same weight yarn. And then these are impeccable. So this is the color palette, and I do not know, I really do not know if this is gonna be enough yellow, but we're gonna hope that it is. Before we start crocheting, I just wanna tell you what I did when acquiring these yarns, because these yarns I just bought. This one is just scrap I have left over from previous projects. So Michaels sometimes has a sale where everything is 30% off. Like they'll have an online sale. So if you order it online and then pick it up in store, you can get everything in your cart for 30% off. But they weren't having that sale and I did not want to spend full price on these things. So this is what I did. They were having a sale, or they had a coupon where you could get 30% off of one item for online. And they also had an in-store coupon where you could get 30% off of one item. So what I did was yesterday, I went on the Michaels website and I ordered this skein of yarn for 30% off, and then went into the store to pick it up. And when I went to the store, I also swung by the yarn aisle and picked up this yarn and then paid for this in store and used the in-store 30% off coupon. So I got both of these for 30% off. Then this is all the stuffing I have left, which I do not think it's enough for the pillow that I'm going to make. So I needed to buy more stuffing. So then today, this morning, I went on the Michaels website because these coupons can only be used once per day. So this morning, I went on the Michaels website and I made an online order, got 30% off of more polyfill. And then when I went to pick that up in store, I swung by the yarn aisle and picked this up and used today's in-store coupon to get 30% off. So essentially I did 4 separate transactions from Michaels and I drove there 2 times. So once yesterday and once today, so that I could get 30% off of everything. And I didn't buy a skein of yellow because if I did, I only had 2 coupons. So I would have had to pay full price. So we're just hoping that this yellow is enough. And if for some reason it's not, then we're gonna have to wait until tomorrow so that I can use the coupon again and get 30% off of a yellow skein. So yeah, this is what I do to save money. I spread out my yarn buying. I made 4 separate transactions on 2 separate days so that I could get 30% off of everything. And you wanna know what? I think that was a very smart business move. That's what I think. So yes, now I'm going to start crocheting. I actually have to leave home in about like half an hour, 45 minutes-ish. So we're gonna start with the smaller project, which is the keychain. And it's also the thing that I have a pattern for. Like it's my pattern, I have it written down on my iPad. So this one I know that I can get done in under half an hour. So we're gonna start with that. And then I'm gonna go run some errands, do some things that I need to do. And then we're gonna come back and tonight do the daisy pillow. That is the plan. That is the breakdown of what we're gonna do. So let us start with the keychain. And you guys know the drill. I'm gonna put in my AirPods, watch a YouTube video. Let's finally get started on this custom order that was ordered 11 days ago. Let's get started. Okay, so the middle is done, and I'm gonna try and do the petals really fast because my dad just called me and he said he's getting ready to leave. So hopefully I can do the petals in like 5 minutes. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Ooh, that was a center pull that was already there. Wow, I didn't even have to go in the middle for that. Wow, perfect. Okay, here it is. I have not cut off the yarn because I need to go, but it's like 99% done. So I'm going to go run my errands and then I'll be back later. It'll be like 2 seconds for you, but a couple of hours for me. Okay, it is several hours later. It is 11 p.m. And so I am not gonna get around to doing the pillow tonight, but I'm just gonna do it tomorrow. But in the meantime, let's do the finishing touches on the keychain. So this is what it looks like. And then I just need to cut off the yarn and weave in a couple of ends and then add the keychain. So let's do that. So all the ends are weaved in. Now I need to add the keychain. And there we go. A daisy with green petals. Complete. And so as I said, I am going to make the matching pillow tomorrow, but I have currently completed 1 of 2 items. So we're technically 50% done this order, but like obviously the pillow is gonna take significantly longer to make than this. So I'm halfway done in terms of items I have to make, but I'm not halfway done in terms of how much time I'm gonna have to spend. But one project's done, so I'm just going to set this off to the side, and I will see you guys in the morning to make the matching pillow. It's the next day. So it's like 2:14 in the afternoon. I just woke up like an hour ago. I went to bed so late last night. I technically could have made this pillow last night, but I wasn't expecting to stay up as late as I did. If I knew I was going to stay up that late, I would have just stayed up and crocheted. But either way, I was just laying in my bed and watching a lot of YouTube. But now it's the next day, the sun is up, and we're going to make this daisy pillow. But a couple of things that I just want to talk about first. So as I said in my last video, I'm making a modified version of my sunflower pillow and turning it into a daisy. And what makes it modified is that with the sunflower pillow is just this very big circle, and then the petals are just yarn attached on the outside. The petals are not stuffed. However, with the daisy pillow, Dawn requested that the middle be smaller and then the petals be big and have the petals be stuffed. So it's a different construction, and I have seen pillows like this. Dawn sent me a reference photo of what she was looking for, and I tried to see if there were any tutorials online, but every tutorial I saw that was in the design that Dawn was looking for, they all required sewing. And if you know me, I am very much a no-sew crochet girly. I hate sewing pieces together. I have this hippo that I made last year where I made all the pieces, but I didn't sew them together because it's literally 95% done. I just need to sew it and I have no motivation to do that. So I have come up with my own pattern that is no sew. And by my own pattern, it's not like something that has been pattern tested and released. It's just something that I wrote down in the notes app of my iPad that I think will look like the pillow when I'm done. I haven't tried out this pattern that I wrote yet. So I wrote the words. Now I'm going to try and follow the pattern that I wrote and see if it makes the pillow. And also, I made this little sketch. I know it's ugly, so don't say anything. This is just so that the pillow makes sense in my brain. I drew this on May 18th. So May 18th is when Dawn made this request. And before I accepted that I would do it, I did a quick little sketch and tried to figure out stitch counts and stuff to see if I thought that I could actually make it, because I obviously don't want to agree to make something that I don't think that I'm able to make. So anyways, I did this quick little sketch. Don't make fun of me. And I know that the petals are lopsided. They didn't need to look good. It just needed to match the stitch count that I had in my brain. So anyways, the middle of it is going to be small. The petals are going to be big. And I just needed to figure out with how many stitches I plan to have, how many petals I would end up having. So based on my sketch, I should have 6 petals. And the point is, this makes perfect sense in my brain. And let's just see if I can actually execute it. So we're doing something that I've literally never done before, and I'm taking like the base from something I've already made, but then when it comes to the petals, I just gotta go. This is either going to go very well or very poorly. Let's start. Also, as I said yesterday, I may or may not have enough yellow yarn to make the center, even though it is going to be significantly smaller than on the sunflower. I still don't know if this is enough, so we're gonna be playing some yarn chicken. Hopefully I win. Starting over, I'm having trouble closing the magic ring. We've had this happen before. It didn't break this time, but you know, if it's too loose, then there's holes. And if it's too tight, then you can't pull it closed. So we're having trouble again, and I did get some tips last time about, oh, what happened here? I did get some tips about using acrylic yarn for the magic ring and then crocheting into that because acrylic is easy to pull through. I've also heard of the chain 2 method, or it's the chain 4 method. I don't remember, but I am determined to get it to work for me. I need to learn how to do it with the chunky yarn. So attempt 2. Attempt 2, successful. Okay. I also can't afford to keep breaking this yarn because, as we've established, I don't have a lot of it. So good. Let's continue. Okay, so I have 2 more rows left, and this is all the yarn I have left. Don't think I'm gonna make it. I almost won, but I'm going to lose yarn chicken. I need to do 18 more stitches. This is not enough for that. Therefore, I'm gonna have to go to Michael's for the 3rd day in a row and get my 30% off of yellow. And I'm also gonna buy another green because since the petals of this pillow are gonna be 3D, it's gonna use a lot more yarn than my sunflower pillow does. Therefore, I don't know if this is gonna be enough. It might be, but I don't want to take any chances. Therefore, I'm just going to buy another one of these. So I'm going to do what I've done for the past 2 days. I'm going to order one of these yarns online for a pickup order so that I can get 30% off. And then I'm going to go in store and use the in-store coupon to get 30% off of the other skein. So I'm going to buy 1 skein of yellow, 1 skein of green, and then meet you guys back here to finish the last 2 rows of the center of this daisy. It is several hours later. So long story short, I made my online order for the green yarn. And then I also ordered food from a restaurant that's in the same plaza as the Michael's that I go to. So I was like, let me kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Let me go to Michael's to get my materials and also buy myself some lunch. So I get to the plaza, I go pick up my food, and then I go to the Michael's parking lot. And I'm just like waiting there for a little bit because I haven't gotten a text telling me that my order is ready for pickup. I'm like, fine, let me go inside and use the in-store coupon to buy the yellow yarn. And I did that. And then I went and waited in my car some more, waiting for that text, didn't get it. So I'm like, okay, let me just eat my food in the car while I wait. So I eat my food, I watch a couple of YouTube videos. Long story short, I waited outside of Michael's for like an hour. And the confirmation text that it's ready for pickup never came through. And while I was in there picking up this yarn, I looked at the online order pickup section and my order was not there. So instead of wasting more time for a yarn that I don't even know if I need, I was like, let me come home, finish up the middle with this yellow that I just bought, and then start using the green yarn. And if I run out, and if Michael's finally texts me back, then we're going to go to Michael's for a 4th time and we're going to pick up the green yarn. And if I don't need it, then I'll pick it up another day. Or I might go there and immediately return it, because if I don't need the green, then I don't need the green. You know what I'm saying? So if I don't end up needing the green, once Michael's texts me back, I will go there, pick up the pickup order, and then immediately return it because I might not need it. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So I've wasted enough time. It's currently 4:51 p.m. and I'm going to finish making the middle of this daisy, and then we're gonna start on the petals. By the way, that was my first center pull from chunky yarn. I'm proud of myself. That wasn't too bad. Okay, and the middle, let me turn this brightness down a little bit. The middle of the daisy is complete. And a quick comparison to the sunflower, the middle is quite a bit smaller, which is what was requested. So now you see I have this little border, this little ridge on the outside. This is where I'm going to attach the petals, or that's where I'm going to attempt to, because once again, I've never done this before. This is just me following a pattern that I wrote, but never actually tried before. So we're gonna see what happens. So the center pull with the yellow yarn went so well. Let's see if we can do it with this green yarn. There is this outer pull already available to me, but let's try a center pull, shall we? Ooh. Okay, not horrible. Not horrible. Nice. Okay, so the middle part was the part I knew that was gonna be easy. Now we need to trust the process with the petals. Guess what? It's 5:11. Michael's just texted me. We'll worry about going back there if and when I need green. Okie doke. According to the pattern that I wrote, this is where I would start closing the petal because I very much underestimated how tall this would be. So I want it to be like maybe twice as long as this. So I've done 5 rows. So I might go up to 10 and then close it. That's the plan. Okay, so this is the first petal. Don't mind the ends. Those are just gonna get stuffed inside later. But do you see? So then I'm gonna do that all the way around. It looks kind of derpy right now. It looks like a head, like a Lego man wearing a top hat, but trust the process. Trust the process with me. Two petals done. Now it's looking more like a bunny rabbit, but there's going to be 6 total, so I'm 1/3 of the way done in terms of petals. Three petals done. Halfway there, halfway there. I think it's really coming together. I think you're starting to see the vision. I did underestimate how long each of these petals was gonna take me, but we're gonna get it done. We're gonna get it done. Four petals done. And this is how much green I have left. So I am going to run out while making the 5th petal. So I am gonna have to go back to Michael's for the 4th time to pick up the green yarn that I ordered online. But I'm going to finish off this scrap first before I go. So let's start on the 5th petal. Okay, I lost yarn chicken for the 2nd time. I'm almost done the 5th petal and I still have a whole 6th petal to do. So I must return to Michael's. Oh, and by the way, I am completely covered in fuzz from the yarn and I need to somehow go out and about with this shirt on. I'm probably just gonna throw a sweater over top of this shirt. Yeah. See you when I come back. I'm back and I have acquired the yarn. The things I do to make sure that I never have to pay full price for yarn. Several transactions and several trips to Michael's, but I finally have all the materials that I need. And while I was out, I decided to stop by Walmart and buy a box because I'm gonna need a box to put this in when it's done. So I killed 2 birds with 1 stone, and since I was already going out, I just made another stop. So now we're gonna finish this pillow. It is currently 7:55 p.m. I started working on this around like 2 something with a couple of breaks in between. Yeah, let's get this done. let's be done. Five petals done, one to go. Okay, all 6 petals are complete. Now I just have these ends to weave in, which is super simple because when you make something that's 3D, you can just stick the ends inside. So let me just do that real quick. Okay, all the ends are weaved in. The green daisy pillow is complete. So now that we have completed both items for the order, I just want to quickly compare them to what inspired them. So this is my original daisy keychain. And then this is the same thing, same design, just in green. And then when it comes to the pillows, here is the sunflower pillow, and then here is the daisy pillow. So as mentioned earlier, the middle is a lot smaller, and then the petals themselves are stuffed instead of just like an outline. So yes, this is a highly modified version of this. So now, since this is a custom order, I'm going to take pictures of these and send them to Dawn just so that I can confirm that this is what she wanted. And then if everything is to her liking, then I will be packaging everything up and sending it. So the next time I talk to you will be after I get a confirmation from Dawn. It is a few days later. It is Monday, June 9th at 8:19 p.m. And earlier this afternoon, Dawn got back to me about the photos that I sent. So I had initially sent photos about 2 or 3 days ago, and I just hadn't gotten a response. So then I sent a follow-up message, and then Dawn responded immediately saying that she loved it. And so I couldn't send it today because I sent the message right before I was about to leave for work. So then when Dawn responded to me, I said that I'd ship it ASAP. Basically, I'm gonna ship it tomorrow. So now that the pictures have been approved, now I can pack everything, because if Dawn wanted some tweaks, but it was already in the box, well then that wouldn't make any sense. So it's now time to pack everything up, and so let's do that. So now I'm going to write my thank you note to Dawn. Okay, so I've written the note, and now it's time to package everything up. So here's the sunflower pillow. Let's take one final look. And here is the keychain. Here's the box we're going to use. Thank you note. It is 9:41 p.m. and order number 13 is packed and ready to be shipped. So as you guys know, this is my first custom order ever, which is the theme of this video. And so a couple of things I want to talk about. The conversation that I had with Dawn, basically leading up to whether or not I would accept doing this custom order, because you don't want someone to ask you to make something and you're like, oh yeah, I can, full well knowing that you can't, you know what I mean? So as previously stated, she just wanted a modified version of my sunflower pillow, and so I had to figure out how I was going to do the petals, and you saw my drawing, my amazing drawing. And so I conceptualized it, and I'm like, okay, I know how I'm going to do this. yes, I will do the order. And then when it came to colors, like saying daisy with green petals, like there's a million shades of green, right? So essentially she asked for color options, like shade options. So I know which brand of yarn I use, so I knew which brand of acrylic yarn I was going to use and which brand of chenille yarn I was going to use. So essentially I went onto the Michaels website and I took pictures of each shade of green and created these little mock-ups. So I said, these are the color options for the keychain, and then these are the color options for the pillow. And so she was able to look through all of the options, and she chose guacamole green for the keychain and vineyard green for the pillow. And so I guess a little tidbit of advice, if you are a knitter or a crocheter or someone who works with yarn, or let's say you're sewing and you have different colors of thread and all this stuff, that is a way that you can communicate with a potential buyer in terms of customs, because saying green doesn't really mean much, right? So that's kind of how our conversation went. She asked me if I could make a modified version. She sent me some inspo pictures. I looked online, only saw patterns that required me to sew, which I didn't want to do. So then I made my little sketch of my no sew pattern, and I was like, okay, I think I can do that. And then we started talking about colors, and then we ultimately spoke about price, and she agreed to the price. So then I created the custom listing, which you saw in the video that I uploaded previous to this one, if you watched it. And if you haven't, you should check it out. So then I created the listing, and then she ordered it. So that is a little bit of the back and forth that we had. That's like a breakdown of everything and how it went down. And I will admit, I was a little stressed, because when I already have a product and you see the product photos and the product video, like, you know exactly what you're gonna get. It's something I've already made, and you have already confirmed that you like it by ordering this thing that you've already seen, right? So when it's like you're ordering a concept, made me very nervous, because I'm like, what if I make it and then she doesn't like it? As I said a little bit earlier in this video, I sent her the pictures and I didn't get a response for a couple of days. So within those couple of days, my heart was racing a little bit, because I'm like, what if she doesn't like it and then I have to make it all over again? Because with crochet, it's not like, oh, let me tweak this, tweak that. Like, you have to pull out some rows and remake them if there's something that wants to be changed, right? And so that, like, the waiting made me a little bit nervous. Luckily, she loved it, so nothing needed to be changed. But it's a little nerve-wracking doing custom orders, I will say that. But yes, that is all I have to say for now. And we'll talk a little bit more in the car tomorrow when I am on my way to drop off this package. So it's the next day. It's Tuesday, June 10th at 12:21 p.m. and I'm currently on my way to work, but before I get there, I am going to drop off this package. So a couple of things I want to talk about. We are now at 13 orders, but 21 sales. So as we established months back, your number of orders is basically your number of customers, and your number of sales is essentially the number of items. And this order has 2 items, so you would think that my number of sales would go up by 2 instead of going up by 1. But when I made the listing, it's 1 listing for 2 items, so then it ends up only being 1 sale. So if these weren't customs and they were just 2 separate listings on my Etsy, then this would have counted as 2 sales. But either way, we're at 21 sales now. And also, when I go over to my orders page, the look of the order is a little bit different. It does specifically say that this is a custom order. And then, obviously, because it's a custom, it's 1 of 1, meaning that after it got purchased, it was then marked as sold out. So this is my first ever sold out listing on Etsy. Also, I have a question. Do you guys think that I should add daisy pillows to my shop as like a regular item? Yes or no? It's just a thought I had. Obviously, if I do more customs, I can't turn every custom order into a potential regular thing. But it's like, it's springtime, almost summer at this point, and flowers are in bloom, and I feel like only offering the one flower pillow may be doing a disservice to my shop. Like, maybe I should be offering a whole bunch. So yes, do you think I should add daisy pillows to the collection? Let me know in the comments below. But yeah, so I'm about to pull up to Chit Chats to drop off this package, and I'll talk to you after. And just like that, order number 13 out of 100 is complete. And just in case you happen to be watching this, Dawn, thank you so much for your custom order request. It was definitely a challenge, but one that I was happy to take. And based on the pictures, you said you loved it, and I hope that you love it when it arrives. And yeah, here's to my first ever custom order. So that's all for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you think your friends will enjoy it, be sure to share it with them. The link to my Etsy shop is in the description below in case you want to purchase something from me. Be sure to check out this playlist. It is my Road to 100 Etsy orders playlist. So if you liked this video, you'll probably like those, and I'll see you in my next video.